Hey guys, welcome back. We're taking a little bit of a different approach to this video, as the Bronco is the first full restoration that we're doing on this channel. There will be less polish, more process. The Bronco came in rough, but we've been tearing it down, cleaning it up, and bringing it back to life. We can't wait to show you how far we've come.
So, my wonderful Bronco, we're gonna get it unloaded. Thank you. Thank you for your help. All right. So, I saw a little bit of video. Here it is, body straight. I wasn't able to find really any big dents or anything. So, on the front, there's a little mark up here, dent right about there. Nothing real major. So, it's pretty clean for the year. I mean, it's a 90. They're kind of hard out here to find with good paint and good interiors. Find the ones with good interiors back east, and they're rusty and stuff like that. So that's gonna go away. I'm gonna grab a pair of locking pliers, set of vise grips. So I want to say that's the 2.8. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in the back here. That's some of it is the Explorer stuff, and some of it is the 2.8, and I'm just trying to get everything. This will be gone through probably tomorrow, because there is so much just dirt and dust in here, and it is just so freaking grimy that I want to clean it all. So I've kind of made a deal with myself, and that's I'm not going to buy parts for it until I can afford to buy the manual transmission. I've wanted one of these for so long in my life. When I was like 13 years old, the town I grew up in was a small town in Gilbert, which really wasn't that small of a town nowadays, and at that time was like the boom of when Gilbert got bigger. I'm a teenager. I'm like 13. I'm into cars. I'm wanting to build my old Ford truck. So it was never, I was like a Ford guy versus a Chevy guy versus, all I cared about is that you like built it yourself. Like, I remember being a teenager, and majority of the kids that I went to school with, dude, they were Chevy guys. They were, nope, Chevy or nothing, which is fine. Everybody has their vice. I cared more that you built it yourself than anything else. There was a guy when I was like 13 that was running around in this exact same color Bronco II, which is white. It was slammed, well drag lights, had a V8, it rumbled. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I wanted one. I was in my head one day, I will have one. My problem's been trying to find one. It was clean-ish. Clean enough, I didn't mind spending money on it. So it's either you find them where they're super clean, but they're, 10 grand, 6 grand, 8 grand, which I don't want to spend that much money on one, because those are the guys that 8 grand and still got the 2.8 in it. Or, oh, we swapped it to the 4-liter, which is not what I want. So my whole thing was I wanted it with a 5-liter and a 5-speed, which is still my goal. I may get an automatic for a short period of time just because I already have it. It's going to save me a whole bunch of money right now. But I want mine to have a 5-speed. Now this is what I do with almost all my cars when I get them. Oh, you made dinner? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were making dinner.
Did you have other plans?
No. And I didn't really eat lunch, so yeah, that kind of sounds good, but...
Okay, dinner's ready.
Okay, what'd you make?
Pierogies and smoked sausage.
What?
Pierogies and smoked sausage, but I deep fried the pierogies instead of air frying.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit. I got to finish. I already sprayed this down, so...
Yeah.
All right, I love you. But I wanted a 5-liter and a stick, and I never wanted a T5 in it because anybody that's got a 5-liter and a T5 knows that they don't hold up. They eventually grenade, and they usually grenade on a 2-3 power shift. So I wanted to have either a TKO, TKX, whatever you want to call them, and I'm kind of stuck with those unless I find a bench seat because I think the shifter is going to be in the way. I'm going to keep spraying, and it's just going to keep putting dirt out for a while. So if you look at the dirt on the other side of where I'm spraying of this black line, like keeps putting out suds, keeps putting out dirt. When I first get vehicles, I literally sit here and pressure wash them until I get all that out. All right, I'm going to wash this thing now. So this is just old school style buffer with a wool pad. Cheap, easy. I think I've talked about this buffer before. Got it from my buddy at Paint. And this is more, I'm doing this because it's free. It doesn't cost me any money, which means I'm not spending money on it. Yes, my time could be devoted way better to other things, but not nearly as fun for me. I bucked out pretty good. I'm kind of happy with how that came out. Alright, so that right there is now buffed. Part of what I want to build is it has decent paint. So let's make sure that like we can buff it and it has decent paint then. And I'm not spending any money on worrying about trying to paint it right now. And I can focus all my dollars on making it the way I want it, motor, transmission, interior wise, so that, you know, if I spend 30 hours in paint, 50 hours in paint, 100 hours in paint, like that's a lot more hours I could have been spending on doing the motor stuff I want to do. And I would much rather do that. Now, this is only the first step, meaning this was buffing compound. This is not like mirror finish. This is wool. Like, this was just a very quick, and let's see what happens. It's got some shine to it. It's not perfect, but it's way better than it was compared to, I mean, that's literally the same light. Can't see it really. So, I think that came out pretty good. Not bad for a little 45-minute job. I think I'm gonna try to find the black grill. I want to get these in black. Black mirrors, that black. I'm gonna clean some stuff in the shop because I want to get this in the shop, and this is gonna go over there where that truck bed is, which means I gotta move a whole bunch of stuff over there so that I have room to push the truck there. And then at least the truck's inside, I can get the back of it emptied out, I can still get to my lifts. That's where we're at. I'm gonna get to work. I'm probably not gonna video it. I just need to get stuff out of the way, get it going, and hopefully next you'll see the Bronco pushed in here.
We pulled the Bronco into the shop and got straight to work. First step, gut it. Seats, carpet, dash, wiring, everything came out. Then we pulled the motor. No looking back. With the shell stripped down, we rolled it outside and hit it with the pressure washer. Grime, grease, and a whole lot of Arizona dirt gone. Now we've got a clean slate, and it's time to bring it back to life.
So these are the seats out of the Bronco, the back seats. You can tell, like, there was oil or something spilt on this carpet and everything that's in here. I'm going to show you how I clean these. So I've done this a few times in the past. My sister's F-150 in high school, she would like double or triple big gulps, you know, like the huge 7-Eleven cups. Diet Mountain Dew all over the passenger floorboard because the cup holders didn't hold those cups. So after 6 months, a year, like the trans hump over was just black, and I would pull her seat and pull her carpet, and this is what I would do to her carpet every 6 months, year, usually a year. So I was going to start by getting it wet and kind of blowing off everything I can, and then I'll go through and show you what I do. And by no means is this going to come out perfect. It's just going to look way better than it was. So I love these pump sprayers. They're cheap. I'm running degreaser through them. They last about 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, somewhere around in there. I always just crack them and relieve all the pressure when I'm done, or the brass gets messed up. But this is just a purple industrial Zep. I do this on the carpet side. I won't do this on the upholstery side, I guess is the way to put it. Like, all right, so I've now pressure washed it, and it's a lot cleaner than it was. Then I got a foam cannon. If you notice, that's green. This is literally just a little bit of Tide laundry detergent, like the high energy stuff, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's like the one line on the capsule, and the rest of this is water. So I'm gonna let this soak for a minute. Now keep in mind, I already did the back, so I'm already kind of ahead. But this is gonna soak for a minute. And then all this is an interior brush. Put it on my drill, not an impact. Put it on the impact and it breaks a little hex bit down in here. But this will literally, just nice and slow, speed 1. Get down in the crevices, get all along the sides. Just everything. This is all I do. I just do this. And then I pressure wash it till everything that comes out is clean. No more suds, no more dirt, no more nothing. And then I live in Arizona, so I can literally just throw this thing outside in the sun and let it dry for a day. It's great. Worst case scenario, I do have a carpet steam cleaner where I can pull the moisture out of that if I want to. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to pressure wash this and then I'll turn you back on. All right, so I pressure wash this. No more real stains. It pretty much gets everything out. And it smells good when you're done. It smells like laundry. So I'm going to flip this over, get the backside done, and then hang it out to dry. This is going to be a learning experience, at least for me. I don't know about you guys. So this was the dash out of the Bronco. It has been sun-baked and rotted for years in this thing, and trying to find a good clean dash is hard. Like I basically looked at having to buy another truck, which I don't want to have to do if I don't need to. I've watched a whole bunch of videos, different videos online of guys that have done it this way. Now, in that note, what I've done was where all the major cracks were, I basically took a sanding bit and I beat it out like you would for welding. And then I've used spray foam to fill in all those holes that I created by V'ing them out. And there's going to be some places where I've missed up. So essentially, from what I've gathered, is how you do this is you take this and you V those out, you fill it with foam. We now have to cut the foam down where it's level to this or a little bit below. We're going to sand it. We're going to reform this thing up here and tend to some of this stuff. And it is basically going to be to the point where once this is all sanded down and where it's supposed to be, I then can use body filler and mesh and basically recover this, sand it, get all that done, and then I can start figuring out how I'm going to texture it, because there's a few different ways. I would like it to be very similar to how it was from the factory. I'd like to put it back in the truck and it not look like I went through and redid this. I understand I'm going to have to paint it. Paint may not exactly match. I'm going to try to find a suitable, upholstery color paint stuff to try to make it correct, but we'll just have to see. So there's a couple of different ways the guys do this. Is they use a Rolock disc to sand this down. They use a razor knife. I am probably going to go get one of my long razor knives and start with cutting a lot of this, because the more I can cut off, the less foam I'm going to create with like a Rolock disc and mess. So large chunks, I'd like to cut as much as I can large chunk wise off with a razor. And I think I have a long razor over in my other shop. Here it is, and I haven't used this in a long time. Hear that song and all I think of is I Dream of Jeannie. I don't know if anybody remembers that show. I Dream of Jeannie or Bewitched. It was one of those. I don't remember. Oh, that cut's pretty good. I like that. Now, I'm not much of a, I mean, I'm not a huge, I don't know, interior guy. I don't know what to call this. Upholstery guy, whatever it is. Like, I know some basics. A lot of this, I just started watching videos of other guys doing this, but it's something I want to try because the price. There's a company out there that will like redo your dashes, and dude, I looked into those companies, and it is what's the way to put it? That is not for the common man, is the way I would view that. If you are doing 100% restoration and you're trying to make this 100% stock and you can't get interior stuff and you have no other option and you're trying to make like show car quality stuff, 100% that dash place that like re-vacuum seals your dashes, those look killer when they're done. One, I don't have that kind of money because what they quoted me was more than I paid for the Bronco and all the engine parts that I have for it. So, um, I will not be spending that much money on doing this because worst case scenario, uh, this annoys me. I will find a way to use the heater AC controls, and I will put an aluminum dash in this thing. Like, I just care that it has AC when I'm done. Um, I would like it to look very, very close to stock, um, because I don't know if you want to call it sleeper build, but like I'm not trying to build something that, the way to put it, I'm I'm trying to build something that I can just enjoy, that I believe is a street car. I know a lot of people have different definitions of street cars. I don't know if I've shared my definition of street cars with you guys, but a lot of my friends know how I feel about what people call street cars. And part of my thing is, I live in Arizona. If you cannot drive your car in the middle of summer here, I don't believe you have a street car. And what I mean by that is Arizona, we get down into we get up into, 120 plus sometimes. 110 is a normal day in Arizona for summer, when it's hot out. Yes, our definition of hot is way different than a lot of other people's. So if you can't jump in your car and drive that thing in the middle of summer here, and you're not willing to put your kids in it, type thing, I don't think you got a street car. And I understand that is different in other parts of the United States. Um, you know, AC is optional in a lot of places. Theoretically, it is optional everywhere, but this is supposed to be and an enjoyable experience for people. And me driving around in 120 degree heat, 110 degree heat, 115 with no AC does not sound like an enjoyable experience that I want to do. I'm going to form all this foam a little better. I took it and I cut the top of it off the best I could to get it where, and I'll have to come back and kind of feather this. And all I'm trying to do here is rough this shape in so I can body fill it. Now I'm using a 90-degree die grinder. This very easily could be done with like a Dremel or, you know, some type of other rotary bit. Okay. This little brown roll-lock disc works really good for this. I'm surprised. We got a lot more right through here, but I'm sure we can figure it out. All right, so I have went through and cut out all that stuff. I've done is basically just use the foam to fill all the cracks, and I, you know, flipped the can upside down. I was trying to use the liquid inside of it, you know, like the gluey liquid. I was trying to use that to get in all the just small cracks, the little liquidy cracks that, man, if I would have sat here and had to like grind all those out, it would have taken forever. The reason they tell you to just grind them all out is kind of the same reason why they do it on welding, which is you don't want it to crack more later, which I get, but I don't think it's going to with the way I'm going to do this. By no means do I think I'm an expert on this. This is literally my first time doing it. So now I'm going to scuff this dash completely. Essentially, I want to scuff the paint to get other stuff to stick to it. So you can see the color change here when I start scuffing it. The gray comes back. Part of my issue right now is my body filler I have, but I needed hardener. I don't have any. I ordered it, and it'll be here later today. So a lot of this is I'm just prepping for what I'm getting ready to do. Next step is going to be body filler. And in the body filler, I caught another guy doing this and it made sense to me. He used sheetrock seam tape, the like stringy string tape, which to me is like a loose fiberglass, call it. You know, I could probably do the same thing with fiberglass. So what I'll end up doing is like through here where it's super crappy, and this, I will end up laying body filler, pushing the seam tape into it to kind of fill all this stuff and make this stronger along this edge. I'm going to try to do it across this whole thing. I'm not going to shove it down here. I may shove it on like the edge and roll it over, and then do, you know, a section here to here or something around along this edge or something. I will end up using it especially across this because of how just that's going to end up. And that stuff will sticks in there. And then when I sand my body filler off, even if I end up sanding into some of that, it's going to give it a little more structural rigidity. It will kind of stay in the body filler and strengthen it. Hopefully make it last longer. That's kind of where we're at right now. I'll fire it back up when we get done. Now, what I'm using is, this is 3M Featherlight. It's just pretty inexpensive hardener. So you mix it up, and then start applying, and you are trying to get all your holes and everything. You want this pushed down in it, so it actually fills those holes. And all I got to say about this is you're better off doing a little bit at a time and taking your time doing it than trying to mix up a whole bunch and then having to hurry or do other things. And now we're going to let that dry for a while. Then I can start mixing up other portions and getting those done. So you are probably just going to set on time lapse now until I get everything coated. Okay, you're going to let that little bit sit up. I mix this way hotter than I mix that. So this is going to take a long time dry. That's not going to take very long dry. I got to let that sit up real quick, and I'll mix up some more. And I'm just going to keep doing it. And then once I have all the cracks filled, this has got to completely cure. Then what we're going to do is sand it down. What it's going to do is that's going to give me the crack. The Bondo is now in all the foam. Then I will sand it where I'll know if this is a high spot, this is a low spot, where everything is. And then I'll go back and do a skim coat over everything, smooth everything out, make it look nice, flat, everything like that. That'll fix any of my pinholes. That'll fix any air gaps that I have. I'll catch all those then, be able to mix them up, do it all over again, sand it down again. We should be good. So I'm just touching up some places that I know there needs to be some. So this all is going to probably set up for half of the day. I'm going to let it set for probably 5 or 6 hours. This side has already started getting hard, but I know there's still some wet spots in it. I want it to completely dry before I start. This is starting to set up too. That I just mixed, and that's got to have time to cure and dry. I want it to be fully cured with how thick some of that was and shoving it down to the foam. I just want to make sure that it's got plenty of dry time before I start in on it. So I'll come back to this in a few hours. So all this is hardened up and dried. 5-inch DA. I have a 1/2-inch foam soft pad on here, like 120 grit. I'm just trying to knock everything down. So all I'm doing here is I know this is a high spot, this is a high spot, this is where crack was, this is a high spot, this is where crack was, high spot, crack, high spot, crack. Now I know where all that's at. I'll come back with a tool or by hand with sandpaper and clean most of the stuff out of that groove. Other than that, we're just going to knock all this stuff down now. Okay, soft pad's now off. You'll hard pad and try to knock this flat. This is broken through, right through there. This is broken through right through here. This I kind of hit while sanding. I still got to sand this flat. This is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. These I got to go back in like hand form. All of these. This I started to get into the foam. So I had to sand it down so it gets past the foam. And then I can put more filler there. Here I got down into the foam. I'll put some more filler there, go back over it again. I'm gonna have to hand form this. But this big crack, it's there. So this is where we're at, and I'm gonna do another coat of body pillar. All right, so went through. I've sanded all down the dash. I've done it. What I'm good with. I'm not trying to be perfect. This is trunk splatter paint. And we're just gonna lightly coat. I am essentially just copying a video that I found, trunk splatter paint. So this is what would have been in like, 60s, 70s models trunk areas before they really started carpeting stuff. It's like the black texture with like white speckles in it is kind of what this stuff is. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating high spots and low spots, and we're going to let this fully cure and dry. And when we're done, we can sand it, and it should be really close to the same texture as factory. At least that's the hope. Now we're going to let this dry, which takes like an hour minimum. And then we'll sand it. And we're basically just going to knock everything down. And we'll go from there. I have let that dry overnight. With this stuff, I have not messed with it much before, so I would rather give it lots and lots of time than not enough. On this note, I am going to start with some 800 grit, just because I don't know how. And all I'm trying to do here is just knock it down. We still want a little roughness. And what I mean by that is I don't want to sand all this stuff off. What I want to do is just make it, the top of it flat. All right. So I've went through and sanded all this down. I just went and got the Duplicolor Flex Finish interior in medium gray, HVP 109. So I'm hoping it's pretty close to the same color, so it's not completely atrocious. And I'm just going to paint all this. And I know this doesn't look perfect, and I'm okay with that. What I'm trying to accomplish is that I can shove a dash mat on this and it looks acceptable. I know that it's not going to look perfect. I know there's still some cracks in it, but dude, that actually matches really good. So I'm just trying to make this look way more presentable than it was.
What the hell was just delivered?
Parts.
That's a big box.
It has big parts in it.
Those don't look very comfortable.
I think those will be pretty comfortable. I don't think those are going to be bad.
Another day, another Facebook Marketplace find. Where are we going?
Buckeye.
What are we getting?
Fox body Ford oil pan setup. So pickup tube, oil pan, bolts, tightening rail or spacer rail, whatever they call it. Basically everything I need for a dual sump small block Ford 302 oil pump setup.
State. What?
I know you hate the Bronco already.
I do not hate the Bronco. When have I ever said that I hate the Bronco?
You hate how much I go and do all this stuff for it.
No, because pretty soon we're going to be doing it for my Suburban.
Yeah.
At the bank getting cash because he found a clutch pedal assembly because he's turning the Bronco into a manual transmission. It's currently an automatic. And a steering column?
Yeah, because it doesn't have the shifter.
And a steering column.
In 800 feet,
It's gonna-
turn left onto South 19th
It's going to be on the
Avenue.
tree?
No, it's going to be a floor
Oh.
shift. The shifter I had, the column I have right now has the shifter on the column. I'm removing that. I don't want that. So I have to buy an entire steering column that doesn't have that. And hopefully the plastics.
All right. She is beat up. I think we just needed parts.
No.
Or poop. Anything else? That's the question. Ralph. Now he's looking to see if there's anything else on it he wants. He also has this cool lifted golf cart, like made it sandrail style. Fat tires. Coming out? You need me to do something?
I can't really see.
I'm real good at holding a flashlight. Look at that. Going for the pedal assembly.
What?
Nothing.
Well, we didn't end up with the plastics for the steering column, but we did get the entire steering column along with the clutch pedal assembly and bonus speaker covers for the back speakers. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you're enjoying the build, hit like, subscribe, let us know what you're wrenching on in the comments. We've got a lot more coming on the Bronco, so stay tuned.